Hey there, I'm going to start a series on raising turkeys. And this series is going to go from raising poults all the way from day one, all the way to the table. So we're going to take you through raising young turkeys all the way from brooding them, bringing them home, taking care of them, moving them to various stages, keeping them protected, hopefully, all the way through processing, and how we do it on a very small scale. Now, we don't raise turkeys for sale. We don't do it on a large scale. We've done chickens on a pretty large scale, not for sale, but for example, we'll bring 100 chicks in and raise them for meat, but this is not what we're doing with turkeys. So I thought I would share that with you because it's ideal for small scale, what I call home scale turkey raising, or homestead scale turkey raising, however you want to word that. So let's get started. I'm gonna share with you how we do it, and I'm gonna take you through the stages through each one of these videos, and you'll get a chance to see in real time along with these videos how these turkeys are raised, how they grow, how they do in this environment, and if we can get all of them through to processing. Now, we only bought 4, okay? So we're talking about a grand total of 4 turkeys, and hopefully we can get all 4 of them to finish. Because if we lost even one, we're down to 75%, and that's kind of the risk that you take when you do these things on a very small scale. So let's get started. I'm going to talk to you real quick about the setup and having your setup, whatever it is, ready when the poults come home. Now, you don't have to go all crazy. Like I said, you can use whatever you have. You can use a tote. You can use a large cardboard box. I've seen people use, fancy brooders that they've designed and made. And again, for this small amount of turkeys, you can use just about anything. But having that ready when they get home is important, especially the temperature. You want, at least for the first week, you want basically their brooding area to be 95 to 100 degrees or thereabouts. You want to give them enough room, and you can see they're starting to outgrow this space. That's why we're moving them here real soon. But you want to give them enough room where they can be in the warmth or out of the warmth. So in other words, they can choose their own temperature. They'll self-regulate. They'll move, into the light area or out of the light area, or they'll bundle up. If you see them bundling up together, then maybe it's too cold in there. Or if they're spread out at the edges, maybe it's too hot. Okay, so you kind of just got to watch that. But anyway, set your system up, have it warmed up when they come home, so they come right into the system and they're ready to go. And then from there, about each week, you want to step down those temperatures, say 5 degrees. Okay, that's just a general rule of thumb. You step it down 5 degrees so that I say after 2 weeks, you're down to 85 to 90 degrees. Okay, that worked for us just fine. A lot of people will say that you need to keep those temperatures at 95 to 100 for the first 4 weeks. I don't find that to be the case. I think you can step it down a little bit quicker than that. I haven't seen any problems. But even so, if you've got that temperature where they can come into it and out of it and kind of self-regulate, then you're not going to have any problems at all. So just wanted to share that piece with you. All right, let me show you our poults. That's what a young turkey is called. We've got 4 in here, and these are broad-breasted white turkeys. They're a commercial breed, a commercial meat breed. They actually do very well. A lot of people might think that, you need to get heritage breeds or anything like that. But you really don't need to. These guys do really well. The bronze-breasted do really well. They're not like, for example, a Cornish cross where a lot of them might have problems if you try and take them past 8 weeks. These guys can go 5, 6 months, a lot longer even. They could live out their lives on your homestead or your home. No problem. They're hardy. They're plenty hardy, I should say it that way. Okay, so these guys are about 2 weeks old. So this isn't like day one. You can see they're starting to feather out, and they're pretty big. We have them in a tote with an old screen on top and a lamp. Okay, now this is actually not a heat lamp. This is a regular lamp because they are older. We've stepped down the temperature appropriately over a little bit of time. Originally we had, and I'll show you here, We had a 125 watt heat lamp. You could have a 250 watt. Those are actually more common, and then just put out more power. They're hotter. So it just depends on your setup and what you have, but it doesn't take much at all. This is, I mean, this tote is just something we had laying around. This screen is just an extra screen we had laying around. And one of the things I really enjoy about raising turkeys is not only the wonderful meat that they do provide at the end for our holidays, for our Thanksgiving, for our Christmas, and other times throughout the season. But they are friendly animals. They develop a very comfortable attitude with us. So we will eventually put them in our food forest, and they will interact with us. And I always walk through the food forest, and they're constantly at your feet, tripping over them. They're trying, they're pecking at your shoes and trying to see what you have to give them. So they tend to be friendly, and that's one of the things that we really like about them. One of the basics of growing out turkeys is you want to give them a clean environment, especially a good start. I mean, they are a little bit susceptible to certain diseases, and you can lose them when they're young. So you want to be careful of that. We have, like I said, we just bought 4. We're hoping to raise out 4, but that's no guarantee for sure. And one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to keep them in an intermediate space until they're big enough for some of the predator issues that we have. We don't have necessarily coyotes or anything like that they're going to get in and take these guys out because of our livestock guardian dogs. But it's what we're really worried about is ravens and birds of prey. They get past the dogs for sure. But when these guys are bigger, when they're big enough, they leave them alone. Okay, so ravens generally won't take out. They'll take out young poults or young ducklings. We've had plenty of losses, believe me. But these guys, we're hoping to get out all 4 of them. And as you can see, they're curious birds, and they're going to do wonderfully. So I'm going to take you through each one of these videos and just show you and share a little bit about how we approach raising them. So like I said, we don't put a lot of money into this. We have this little tote and this screen and these old watering and feeding cans that we have. We use some basic feed. We try and get non-GMO feed. And, but that's about the extent of what we try and do. Once we get them out into the food forest, we will supplement their feed, and I'll talk about that more in depth in later videos. But we still have to supplement their feed. But they do get some from the land. They really do. It's amazing. They'll be chomping on the huckleberries and the currants and all kinds of different kinnikinnick, bearberries, all that kind of stuff. They will be nibbling on that kind of stuff out there, and that's fine with us. We don't mind converting currant into turkey, if you know what I mean. So I hope you'll join me on this adventure of this turkey adventure from poult to farm table, and we're gonna have a good time doing it. And I hope to share with you and convey that it's not difficult. It's actually very simple. Anyone can do it. You don't need a lot of space, and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Now, at the end, you need to make sure that you compare apples to apples, because it's hard to compete. If you want to buy the cheapest turkey possible, you're not going to compete with that on a dollar for dollar basis. What you need to do is compare a home-raised turkey that was raised humanely in an environment that's good for the animal. It was processed well, it was fed well, you know how it was raised, you know what it was fed. That's the type of comparison you have to make. What does that cost? What does an organic turkey cost? What does a naturally raised turkey cost by your local farmer? And that is a much higher price than a regular commercial turkey in the store. All right, so here we go on the turkey adventure. Just wanted to show you a quick, closer look at these guys without the screen over the top. They really are quite friendly. I mean, they will definitely calm down a little bit over time, and they tend to relax. And like I said, I think every batch of turkeys we've ever raised, when we walk around in the food forest and in different areas, or sometimes we'll even have them free ranging on our property. They're just like at our feet all the time. And I don't think these guys are going to be any different for us. But like I said, these are about 2 weeks old, and I would like to have been able to show you them at 1 day and 2 days and that kind of stuff. But we'll go from here. So what each day, all it amounts to is we give them fresh water, fresh food. We make sure that this area here stays cleaned out. These are pine shavings, and sometimes we'll just add pine shavings, and other times we'll do a complete clean out. Okay, but either way, you don't want them to be sitting around in feces or anything like that. These guys are about ready to jump out. So I'm going to turn this off, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, I hope you'll join us on this turkey adventure where we take these guys from start to finish. And do me a favor, subscribe to our channel, comment, tell us what you're liking or what questions you have about this, and we'll be happy to share what we know about it. Or if you have any other tips, or if you see something that you have any suggestions for us, we're happy to hear those